let's get into the numerical aspect of the hero's journey. The numbers, the shapes, the symbolism behind it all, what it all represents. We have the story, but what is it ingrained in the DNA via gematria, via say shapes, symbolism, and stuff. And that's where I really come in, and that's what I really was meditating on for a long time, to understand that the number 137, 137, it's the numerical symbology. It's it's a story in itself. It's a three number story, but it's the story of life. All right. And so look, let me just break it down briefly. One is considered to be the origin, the ordinary world. That's the circle. One, you know, everything's together, continuous, always around, right? Three is considered to be the stage of play and experiences. Triangle. We finally get tangibility. It's the first shape with sides. It's the first polygon that's possible. With two sides, you don't get a shape. You just get a line. Circle, everything is whole. It's a shape that has form, but there's no sides. It's tough to touch. It's not as tangible. And then seven is reaching freedom to live or enlightenment, the ascension, which is the heptagon. And the heptagon, in many ways, is a very special shape. The number seven is a very special number when it comes to spirituality and whatnot, and ascension and empowerment and transformation and endings. So it's the square triangle heptagon. It's the 1, 3, the 7, numbers and shapes. That's the story of our life. That's the story of transformation, ascension. That's the story of goals, reaching goals, mountain climbing. It's all ingrained within that. And that's why it's the 33rd prime. And remember, 33 is not only our backbone with 33 bones, 33 equals that it's stories equals 33 in reduction. So it's all connected. And so for some gematria, we have, again, you knew this, story is heart of hero's journey, 137 reduction, but it also equals 371 in ordinal. The hero's journey's number format also equals 371 in English ordinal, but also 137 in English reduction. So story is heart of hero's journey, and the hero's journey's numbers format both equal 371 ordinal, 137 reduction. Obviously, we already know a departure, initiation, return, 137 reduction. And we have some powerful 333s on the way. So buckle your seatbelt because these are good. 1 is origin story, 3 is play experiencing, and 7 is enlightenment equals 333 in English reduction, but also 333 in reverse reduction. That doesn't happen often. That doesn't happen every day. That is super rare. That is super rare. So let me say that one more time. 1 is origin story. 3 is play/experiencing, and 7 is enlightenment. 333 reduction, 333 reverse reduction. Very rare decode, but very potent, Departure is 1. Initiation is 3. Return is 7 for the hero's journey number format equals 333 English reduction. With 137, old storyline of a hero's journey in numerical format, 333 English reduction. 1 is the circle, 3 is the triangle, and 7 is the heptagon for hero's journey in shapes, 333 reduction. So let me say that one more time. 1 is the circle, 3 is the triangle, and 7 is the heptagon for hero's journey in shapes, 333 English reduction. Those are some powerful, potent decodes. Sentence form, on topic, in focus. 333 across the board, English reduction. And then we have at the bottom, circle, triangle, heptagon, 222, English ordinal. Another powerful gematria number with repeating numbers, angel numbers. Circle, triangle, heptagon, 222, English ordinal. And so let's break down one, the number one, and what it means symbolically to the hero's journey. Okay. One, it's the starting point. It's symbolic, meaning getting out of your comfort zone to grow. That's when you want to get to one, out into your journey. Because when you're in one, you're in your ordinary world, everything's okay for the most part, gravy, you're in your comfort zone, right? It's the opposite, and it's familiar. The opposite of familiar is unfamiliar. And that's when we jump off the stoop off to one, and then we get to two, three, so forth, right? One's the stoop. We're familiar. Off the stoop, if you step off the stoop, that's unfamiliar. So for some gematria, we have to departure from source comes 1 equals 330 English ordinal. 0 is just a value placeholder, so really it's just 33. Remember, departure from source, 1 is source, well, 0 is source, I guess, in a way, comes 1. Because source really has no tangibility. It's before 1, but when you depart from the source, that's when you get that 1. 1 represents a starting of life, and 1 a call to action on hero's journey. Both equal 137 in reduction, 33rd prime, but also 160 in reverse reduction. But the 137, that's very important. 1 represents a starting of life. 1 a call to action on hero's journey. 137 reduction. Ordinary world, hero's journey equals 137 reverse reduction. The call to adventure, a hero's journey, 137 reduction. 33rd prime. So you see, it's all aligning. 1 equals 16 reduction. A start equals 16 in reduction. Start equals 78 English ordinal. Embryo, where it all starts, right? Your start, your embryo, your starting point equals 78 English ordinal as well. Every journey starts at 1, and 1 represents a starting of life. Both equal 335 in English ordinal. So that's breaking down 1 in a lot, deeper symbolic way in regards to the hero's journey, in regards to numerically when you see 137. And so when you get into 3, the importance of the triangle. These are all things we've done in the past for the first module. I just want to revamp it, and make sure you understand the importance of 3, because 3 is the initiation in the hero's journey. Remember, it's where everything happens. It's triumphs, tribulations, mentorship, learning, playing, experience. It's the tangibility of life, the throes of life. That's 3. That's the tangibility of it all, right? That's the connection of it all. That's the initiation. That's the mediation. So there's importance there. Remember, the father, son, the child that makes the family. In Christianity, the Holy Trinity, the God, the Father, the Son, the Holy Ghost. The alchemic elements of fire, water, and earth are depicted with variations of upright and upside down triangles. So these are all things, right? Gematria, remember, triangles is earthly, 220 English ordinal. Triangles is earthly formation, 333 ordinal. A triangle, the second most important, 333 English ordinal. Triangulation of three threes, 133 reduction. Triangle, second most important, only to one, 133. Remember, triangle is the mediator. You know, a mediator is the official go-between who acts as a link between two parties to reconcile the differences. So when you're on this realm, you know, there's a lot of mediation. You're trying to figure out how to understand the world. What knowledge can you gain? How can you help yourself and others? And, you know, biblically, from, Timothy, 1 Timothy 2, 2 5, you know, they say, for there is one God and there is one mediator between God and men. That man, the man, Jesus Christ. And you see this diagram right here. You have a woman, you have a man, then you have your mediator, and then you have the judge, who is God, the king of all. But you have the mediator, the go between the mortals essentially, and that's Jesus. Jesus is the mediator. The triangle, 3, a world mediator, 333 English ordinal, 153 reduction. We've talked about that in the past, one of the rare and powerful decodes. The Timothy book, chapter 2, verse 5, is going to be 333 English ordinal. Very powerful. And there's a new addition to this that I added for this module, Gematria wise. Number 3, life initiation, and life's initiation, Jesus mediation equals 137 in English reduction, which is the 33rd prime. And so that was the addition to this for the triangle. Remember, 3. And it's breaking the plane to tangibility with the triangle. This is from a even older presentation I've done in the past when it gets into gematria, right? Geometry, I mean. Triangle, the third point, it brings the plane of tangibility. You finally are in the game when you get to the third section, right? You're finally in the game. You're finally in the throes of it. You're trying to get that boon. um, uh, Photius observes that the triad is the first odd number in energy. It is the first perfect number and is a middle and analogy. The Pythagoreans referred it to physiology. It is the cause of all that has the triple dimension. It is also the cause of good counsel, intelligence, and knowledge, and is a mistress of music, mistress also of geometry, possesses authority in whatever pertains to astronomy, and the nature and knowledge of the heavenly bodies connects and leads them into effects. Every virtue is also suspended from it and proceeds from it. In every zodiacal sign, also, there are 3 faces, 3 decans, and 3 lords of their triplicity. And among the planets, there are 3 fortunes, 3 infortunes. According to the Chaldeans, also, there are 3 ethereal words prior to the sphere of fixed stars. This is from Numbers, Their Occult Power and Mystic Virtues by W. Wynne Westcott. In geometry, a plane that is a flat surface of 2 dimensions. In geometry, a plane is a flat surface of 2 dimensions. It extends endlessly and has no thickness. You can think of a piece of paper or the surface of a wall as part of the geometric plane. The flat shapes in plane geometry are known as plane figures. So when you bring that third point in, you're busting through. Now we have tangibility. We're in the 3-dimensional world. All right, which is not necessarily the ordinary world when you think of source and where we all come from, our illusion, right? So our illusion is the special world, all right? It's the unknown world. That's why we don't know what happens in the future. We don't know what's going to happen to us tomorrow because we don't know. We're just an illusion. This is the unknown, all right? We're being initiated. And for some gematria, we have Thirds, a third, 3 points, they all equal 33 in English reduction. We have triads are the first formations. Earth's third dimension is tangible, breaking plane to enter the matrix. And a triad formation means a broken plane, all equaling 330 in English ordinal. Remember, 0 is just a value placeholder. Cast that off. That's just 33. And then we have breaking the plane to enter the matrix. A triad formation means a broken plane, also equals 141 in English reduction. We have triangles is earthly formation, and 3 is the Earth's first number. And that's another topic for another day. Technically, it is 333 English ordinal and 135 reduction for both of those. Triangles is earthly formation. 3 is the Earth's first number. Breaking plane causes matrix world. We live in a matrix. Breaking that plane causes the illusion, which we are in. 133 reduction. Divine energy, breaking of a plane. They both equal 137 English ordinal, 33rd prime, and 74 in reduction. Then we got Earth's third dimension is tangible, 330 English ordinal. All right. So again, this is why it's important. This is why I spent so much time on 3, because this is where it all happens. Like we're in the 3. We're in the 3 right now. This is where it all transpires right now, right here, in the 3 with tangibility. And so let's get into the last number, 7. Transcendence and ascension. All right, this is divinity. 7 is a very divine number. All right, and there's multiple reasons why. Okay, there's a lot of cases where biblically 7 is the last number. All right, you just have 3 through 7. All right, 8 and 9, they're out there. You know, it's above the end. It's almost the underworld before you start over again. So, 7's transcendence. Existence or experience beyond the normal or physical level is very spiritual. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts, his acts being 7 ages. Speech. All of the World's a Stage by William Shakespeare, from As You Like It, spoken by Jocks. So even by William Shakespeare standards, 7 has 7 ages. It's all important. A pawn touches 7 spaces to reach the other side of a chessboard to transform into a greater chess piece. So that pawn right there, it has to touch 7 spaces to get to the other side, and then it can transcend into a greater piece for transformation. A 7-sided figure is impossible to draw with mathematical precision. You can't hone it down. With the heptagon, you know, it's intangible in a lot of ways. You know, there's not mathematical precision. It's like you understand it's there, you can feel it, but you can't always tangibly touch it. You know, it's that divine essence, right? 7 doesn't form finite relationships with other numbers. When any number is divided by 7, it always leaves an endlessly looping trail of repeating decimals. I mean, that's self-explanatory of what we've all been talking about, right? 7 doesn't form finite relationships with other numbers. When any number is divided by 7, it always leaves an endlessly looping trail of repeating decimals. That shows its divinity. On a dice, top and bottom number always equals 7. The top and bottom, they always equal 7, you know, outside of the cube that we live in, right? That number is outside of the cube, the dice. 7 colors in rainbow. You can see it, but never find the ending. You know, you see rainbow after it rains, you know, you think there's a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Well, you won't get that pot of gold because there's no end of it. But it's more symbolically, you know, if you reach that ascension to that, you will get your pot of gold. The 7 notes of music are frequently used to symbolize the musical notes known as swaras in traditional Indian music. All right. And then for some gematria, we have number 7, linked to transcendence, 137, reduction. Come on, man. Come on. Come on. Look. Number 7, linked to transcendence, 137, reduction, the 33rd prime. Come on. That's so simple right there. Level up in chess, 7 spaces for pawn, and number 7 and a human's ascension, they both equal 333 in English ordinal. Think about that. Level up in chess, 7 spaces for pawn, number 7 and a human's ascension, they both equal 333 English ordinal. Come on now. Come on now. And then for the last slide, we've reached the mountaintop to the module. All right. Masterclass number 2, module number 2. We're at the end. We've reached the boom, and we're about to complete our initiation. All right. And we complete our initiation with the final slide of the presentation with ascension at end of 7. The mountain is thought to contain divine inspiration. It is the focus of pilgrimages of transcendence and spiritual elevation. It is a universal symbol of the nearness of God as it surpasses ordinary humanity and extends towards the sky and the heavens. It symbolizes consistency, constancy, permanence, motionlessness, and its peak spirituality signifies the state of absolute consciousness. In dreams, a mountain signifies danger, but climbing a mountain depicts inner elevation. This came from the University of Michigan. And as you see, I have Mount Everest right here in a number 7. If you tip the number 7 over, kind of looks like a mountain, you know? You're scaling the mountaintop. The 7 is the ascension. You see the 7 has its peak when it's on its side. So it's just a sideways mountain. It's thought to contain divine inspiration, transcendence, spiritual elevation, universal symbol for nearness of God. Why are the mystics always on the mountaintop? Think about that. Why are the oracles, the divine ones, they're always at the mountaintop? You always have to climb the mountaintop to get to them, get to the answers you want. It's because they're the closest ones to God symbolically. Think about that. Think about that. In the movie 300, you know where you went, you know you went up in the mountain to get you know it, to get that information from the oracles. You know that in the movie 300, you saw it happens all the time in all these different movies. And so for gematria, we have 7 is symbol for mountain peak, equals 333 English ordinal. Ascension is merely a new awakening, 333 ordinal. Ascension is end of the number 7, 135 reduction. And ascension is merely new awakening, also equals 135 reduction as well, which they do match. Mountaintop and a downed 7 both equal 50 in reduction and 58 reverse reduction. Mountaintop, a downed 7. Mountaintop, a downed 7. You see that. 50 reduction, 58 reverse reduction. Mountain and number 7, they both equal 35 in reduction. Simple. Mountain and 7 both equal 35 in reduction. So you see the similarities in the symbolic similarities in the symbology. Right angled 7 resembles mountain equals 137 in reduction. And that's where I'll leave you off with today for module number 2 in the mystery school the master class. Right angled 7 resembles mountain. 137 reduction 33rd prime. Right angled 7, right? Right angle 7 resembles a mountain, which it does, which I showed you right here.